So welcome back to the channel. Today we have Brian's F10 M5. So this car is going to be a 2015 and it has the LCI, well it is an LCI. So it has the newer headlights and the tail lights. And then this car is actually one of my favorite cars that you can buy within the 50,000-60,000 range. And obviously pre-LCI you can get them for cheaper. And on his car, it's obviously been modified. So you'll see that it has the 3D design front lip, the agency power carbon hood, PSM side skirts, and then rear diffuser, deck lid, so the ducktail, and then along with the roof spoiler, that's also going to be all from PSM design. And then for engine wise, he doesn't have intake or anything, but he does have catless downpipes from AMS and then an FI exhaust. So obviously it's going to be valved as well. And then obviously this car's tuned. It has a tune from German Auto House. So that's going to be a local tuning shop / repair shop for European and high-end cars that we also work with. And so obviously if you need a tune, you can go to German Auto House. And then so this car really made me fall in love with the F10 M5. So even George's car had made me, I really like that car quite a bit. But then after I seen Brian was kind of like the, it's the clean, it's the murdered out look that you can drive every day, but it's not slow either. So this car right now is making about 600 to the wheel. So that's definitely not slow. And then I've just kind of realized that everyone around me is 600 plus club. So Brian's car is like in the middle of who's the fastest probably. So sorry, Brian. So yeah, we do have a lot of friends who do have a lot of fast cars. I'm obviously the slowest one. I have 200 horsepower. So I mean, what can I say? You see this black tint on the reverse light here. So that's going to be from our good friend Mario. And then his Instagram is going to be Golden Wrench, and he does the Black Line V2 kits, and which is just to cover up that reverse button or reverse light there. So I have Brian's keys here with me. It's like 3 BMW keys on here, so he's a very big BMW enthusiast here. Anyways, if you guys didn't know, so the F10 M5 came with a 4.4 liter V8 twin turbo. Even though it is a twin turbo, it is loud. And this car comes with so in North America, we actually had the option for a 6-speed manual, but obviously that's going to be rare, just like the E60 M5. And then this one has a DCT, so it's going to be a 7-speed. And then so we're going to go for a quick ride, and then obviously I'll give you guys what I think about how this car drives and how it sounds. We'll get some audio clips as well of that FI exhaust. And so we'll get a quick start right now. And obviously these are the LCI taillights, so they're going to be significantly different versus the pre-LCI, and it's going to look a lot better and sharper. Anyways, let's go. So on this interior here, besides the custom buttons, so this and then these 2 red buttons are going to be from IND, and then on here this the carbon trim is going to be from Auto Technic, so they're a very popular BMW brand here, and then well in the US and all over the world probably. And then obviously we're going to have the carbon fiber wrap as well on the interior here, just a little bit of contrast to make it more black and red. Alright, so now we're driving. So right now we're in Marymore, so we're going to be in Redmond here. And obviously the M5 is going to be the bigger chassis in the family. It's not going to be as sporty as your 3 Series per se, but sometimes, that's what I'm looking for in a daily driver. And even though Brian's car is actually like so when his car is under load, when it's doing a pull, the rear tires will actually be tucked under the rear fenders. And he already has it lowered, and that's going to be from the KW HAS kit, so I believe it's just a lowering spring. Am I right? So okay, so yeah, so it's already pretty low, but the car itself is obviously going to be really soft compared to a 3 Series. So the only other 3 Series that I've been driving lately is going to be Brian's M3 CS, and so the CS is obviously it's going to be like the competition package, and then up one level again. So with the new F Series cars, there's just a whole bunch of stuff going on, including the M2 as well. George purchased the M2 Comp, and then they're coming out with M2 CS. So especially in BMW's lineup, there's just, I guess it gets sportier, and sportier is the way to put it. But I still think this car is still my favorite out of all the cars that I've driven, out of all the M cars. The M2 is a very close second though. They're both different purposes. So the M2 is going to be more of your sports car, while this is going to be more of your luxury and dailyable car. So I actually really wanted my sister to get an M5, but she's looking at something else now. So the sound deadening within this car is actually really, really good. So Brian's car from the outside, if you've heard it from the outside, it's actually really, really damn loud. drive pretty fast cars at work every day, but then for a big bodied four-door sedan, something like this is obviously very crazy. So it's gonna be something similar to like the Hellcat. And then I don't know if we actually, do we know if, is the Hellcat faster or is this car faster? So this car's actually faster than a Charger Hellcat. And so, you know, Hellcats are not slow cars. So, you know now. So you can continuously hear the pop-pops in the back here. And then obviously with the windows open, it'd be a little louder, but we'll have some clips of the exhaust obviously put in here later on. So everything in here ergonomically wise is very comfortable. So the seating position is way better than the E60 M5. So the E60 M5, I always had this weird thing where I couldn't find the right and proper positioning, which made it really uncomfortable for me to drive that car. While here in the F10 M5, we're rather comfortable. I believe it might be because of the seating position has changed and it's a different chassis. Every time this car goes pop-pops, all the people look at it. So handling wise, even with the KW Haas kit, the car is still a little bit boaty. It's not as responsive as obviously, like I said, the smaller sporty chassis. But for an everyday daily driver that looks good, sounds good, and you can still have fun and not slow, I think this is one of your best bets, especially in that price range. So your other considerations for that price range are, like I said, M3, M4, or like an RS7 or RS5 or something, but personally I would choose this because it's not too over the top, you know, screaming at you like, okay, hey, look at me. Even though when it does do the backfires, then it's rather loud and obnoxious, but when you're going around town, then, you know, and the DCT on this car is really quick, especially after the tune as well. And then you can hear enjoy the pop-pops. So the pops are really loud, and I don't know where this term came from, but we just started calling them pop-pops, so they're backfires, but you know, we call them pop-pops around here, so you'll have to get used to that. What was that? So, you know, that was wide open throttle and I'm in MDM mode right now, but obviously the sound editing is so good on this car that it's not loud at all, but on the outside, this thing screams. Everything up, this car driving wise and, you know, utility wise is going to be, it's on the top of my list for being a four-door. You know, if I'm going to have a four-door, I, you know, really want something with more room, and so this, you can still take your kids around, you know, go shopping, and you can do your daily duties while still having fun and enjoying it. And then looks wise, this car looks great. This is obviously an LCI model, so it looks better than your pre-LCI model, but the overall aesthetic of the car is going to be something that attracts me the most, and is the most bonus. open. And so, you know, driving wise, comfortability, everything, I would give this car at least an 8. At least an 8 or 9. Obviously there's no perfect car, but this one is one of my top choices. And then so obviously we have a tunnel right ahead of us, or well, a bridge, an underpass. So this car is I mean, you know, my expression probably didn't change too much, but in my head I'm kind of like, this car is fast. I'm kind of used to driving this car, well, not this car, but cars in this horsepower range. But this car does brake traction. But this car has Pilot Sport 4S's, so it's going to be the newest, latest, and greatest. And overall, we've been using it on multiple cars, and it's been flawless. It's probably one of the better tires on the market at the moment in terms of durability and drivability. Very bum. So if you are interested in buying a BMW F10 M5, I do believe it is worth the price, and especially with all the aftermarket support here, and especially seeing the way that Brian's car is, it's something that I highly recommend, because it's something that is not over the top, but you can tell it's a nice car. But then obviously that's going to be dependent on your own personal taste and what modifications you'd like to do to it. But Brian's M5 on the top of my list of favorite cars locally here. Sorry, George. Once again, I gotta reiterate, sorry, George. And then hopefully we'll get another episode where we can do George's car, because George's car has, you know, extensively been modified, so it is quite different from Brian's car in comparison. But that's obviously going to be a show car, while this is something that's going to be rather streetable and not going to attract too much attention from day to day, you know, driving, or, you know, just going to the supermarket, and then when you're going to have fun, you know, people still, you know, it's a nice car and it still attracts the attention that you want, if that's what you're looking for in your daily driver. So we'll end it with a pop, and then I hope you guys enjoyed this short video on why I kind of like Brian's M5, and thank you for Brian for letting me review your car, obviously. And then we still have the CS to go too, so that'll be kind of like a closer back-to-back comparison of the two cars. Obviously I'm not going to be taking this car, this M5, on the twisties, because that's not really something that you know, I would do, but maybe we will have a video coming up soon of it at a drag strip. So we will catch you guys on the next video. If you guys like this video, obviously subscribe, and my channel is going to be a channel full of all kinds of different cars, so it's not just focused on one genre. So if you guys kind of just want to learn more about cars with me and from what I know, and hopefully you're learning from me and I'm just not, you know, saying stupid stuff. So yeah, obviously subscribe and put your notifications on, and then we will have another video coming